Sad day in Lakers land. Sad day in Lakers land. I thought we had a for sure win. Um, we let ourselves down. We allowed a lot of things to dictate how we saw the game and how we moved on the court. You know, there's a lot of things that happened that didn't go our way, and we allowed it to frustrate us. We can't continue to do that. We gotta start coming in full gas, full gas until halftime, full gas. You know, we came out and it was a lot of things that I didn't agree with. You know, our level of play, so some of the calls the refs made, it was just a lot of things I didn't agree with. But things happen. It's not how you fall, it's how you get up, and how long it takes for you to get up. It's gotta be right then. It's gotta be right now. Do or die, you know? It's gotta be to the point where of no return. Every game should be looked at as it's the last game of the season. As it's the last game or go home. Win or go home. Best of the best. Winner take all. That's what it's gotta be on. I don't understand. I don't understand why we allow the refs to get us out of our game. When the home crowd goes to doing what they do, players go to feeling themselves, the refs are gonna swing their way. That's the flow of the game. When they take the flow of the game away from you, it happens every time. We gotta control ourselves. We can't let things dictate how we see the court, how we play our game. We don't stop being us. We the Lakers. What we gonna stop being us for? We've been counted out for the last few seasons. And we don't shook up the world. We don't shock the world. So why will we continue to allow these refs to decide our game? If they're not giving us the calls we supposed to get, so what? Let's make them give us the calls. Every time we get that ball, we attacking the basket till we get tired. We could run with the best of them. We're a fast-paced team. When we slow the game down on offense, it stops our groove because we have to keep moving. When we slow it down on defense, when we're able to transition off of offense into our defense the correct way, we're allowing the game to play how we want it to. We're dictating how everything's being finessed on the court. The way that we've handled these times when things aren't going our way, you can do that in the season. You can't do that in a 7-game series. You got to stay level-headed. You got to stay humble. You got to stay in that dogfight. You can't just let it get away from you. You got to keep doing and keep going. You got to stay motivated, dedicated to the cause. Because it's all about that ball in the end of the day. It's all about the court. We got to control our game. We have to control our game. As a Laker fan, it drives me crazy because I feel like we should blow every team out. But it's not going to happen that way because of the type of ball it is now. But I feel like our team is that good. Anybody we've matched up that had a better record than us, they've had problems with us. Especially when it came down to our defensive play. We started off as a bad team, but once we made the trades, We was the best team in the league. At that point, it didn't matter about what we were seeded. Our job was just to make the playoffs so we can come out here and make some noise. And I'm expecting us to make some noise when we play again at home. I just thought we would be up 2-0. We go home, we get a win, and then we get in that dog fight for that fourth game that we're probably gonna lose because no team wants to go down, you know, like that. No one wanted to be squeaked out, and man, but I was really hoping for it. I think we'll get it in 5, but I don't want to speak too fast because then that'll have us have to fight for it in 6. I'm looking forward to seeing Anthony Davis have a bounce back game, and AD gotta realize, man, he a beast. Quit putting the beast away. Keep him out. Get into that mode. Lock in. Get into a zone. Block everything out. He's getting hackled, and I know it's frustrating because I feel like they're trying to hurt him on purpose. But he's got to have the will. And he's got to know that he's going to be all right. And LeBron's got to help him keep his focus and stay motivated because that's what part of the team is being about. AD don't understand how special he is, man. He doesn't understand the skill level he has. He's got to get in Shaq mode. And maybe he needs to call the big Diesel. Maybe he needs to call him up and say, man, what did you do when you were stinking it up in the playoffs? What did you do to get into the zone to be able to get 3 championships in a row? Because sometimes you got to be that humble. You got to be that dedicated to the game to say, hey, I need to pull away. I need to figure it out. And I need to get some lessons. And I need to learn some things. So when there's times where I just don't have it, I can pull it out of somewhere. No one likes to be hackled constant on a nightly basis, every game that they're playing, and people are calling them injury prone because they're getting hurt. That's what's going to happen when you get hackled. But at least the refs should have enough respect for him to give him his calls when he's been cut open. I thought that was crazy that he didn't shoot a fragrant shot, at least one of them, because I felt like it was intentional. But it's always something, when it comes down to the Lakers. I don't know, but I really hope we can bounce back and figure out how to take control of the series, whether Ja come back or not. We've got a couple of days. I expect him to play in game 3, but if I was him, I wouldn't play, but I expect him to play. And I'm not worried about him playing. We were going to beat them easily with him in the game or not. And we've had done both, in the regular season. But I never count the regular season once we get to playoffs. We're 1-1 now, so the series is back at 0-0 to me. And it's going to be a dogfight at home. We got that playoff atmosphere back, so it's going to be live. And, it's going to be a good thing because I think we were still in the play-in. Not the play-in. We were still in the bubble still when we made it back to the playoffs again when AD went down with his injury. So it's going to be our first time back at home, back at Crypto, live playoff atmosphere. And, ain't no nation like us. We the livest nation for real. So it's going to be a heck of a game, heck of a crowd. The excitement is going to be crazy. I know they're going to have bubble guts, but I would have been more excited with that 2-0 win, We going back home with a 2-0 lead. Man, That crowd would have took us to that 3-0 easily because that's what Laker Nation does. We're going to need them to be so loud on every free throw. You know, in Memphis, I think it was like a 60-40 crowd. But, and I know they're going to travel, but I think we're going to have enough to where we can have it 80-20, because, Lakerland, we show up. So we're going to show up and we're going to show out. And I'm going to show up from home. I'm going to show up from home. I'm going to be home watching the game, but I'm going to definitely be turned up. I'm thinking about live streaming. I don't know if I'm going to live stream it or not. I'm really thinking about it. But, man, I'm excited. I'm not okay with the loss because I feel like no matter how bad of a game we were having, we should have still got that win. But when shots don't fall, shots don't fall. There's nothing you could do about it. You live and you go out and do it again, and you hope to come out with that win. So I'm really hoping that we do what we need to do. Get it done, and let's get it done in 5. And let's get a much needed break. Get that rest, get focused, figure out how to lock in, and take the world by storm. If you haven't yet, y'all already know this Launch Talk Sports. Like, comment, subscribe. All support is needed and appreciated. Let's talk about our unsung heroes, Rui and Austin Reeves, and Scooter. Dennis the Menace. I'm hoping that they had a decent game, but I'm hoping that they as a triple threat, in my opinion, I'm hoping that they could get back to just playing consistent ball on the same level, not doubting themselves, attacking the basket, just making all the necessary reads, making the right plays, not losing sight of the power that kind of helps us be able to fight through these games. No games are easy. You gotta have that fight in you. You gotta have that that dog in you. And we know they have it, but they consistently turn it off. And I cannot stress how important it is to stay dialed in. Teams are expecting you to get comfortable. They're expecting that. They're expecting for you to make mistakes, and they're looking at how they can kill you when you do that. How can we take advantage of them when they're in that mode to where they're making the consistent mistake? Some of these turnovers that we're doing it's just terrible turnovers. Like we're forgetting dribbles. It's like, come on, man. We throwing passes where nobody's at. It's like, man, we gotta slow it down when we're getting ready to pass the rock. We gotta slow it down. When we're getting ready to pass that ball, our focus needs to be on how we're gonna facilitate. It's like we're losing focus at the last minute, and then it's too late to try to recoup, and we got to get out of our own way. And we've been our own way since the season started. Even in the beginning of the season, I still felt like we should have made the playoffs with the team that we had because I knew everybody had the ability to be on the level we needed them to be on, especially when you got AD and LeBron on the same team. Anything can happen. Seemed like all the tough losses really hurt our ball club chemistry, and the fact that we have hard times getting a rhythm and actually being consistent. I'm not gonna hang myself too far down to where I say that this game was a bad game I think it was just we didn't prepare for, certain players to come and give the amount of effort off the bench. You know, we didn't prepare for that. And it's not good to start a game flat because, that comes back to bite you. We came out really flat. Our defense in the paint was terrible. I don't understand why we didn't change out to. There's things we could have did to create better opportunities for ourselves. Even Mo Bamba could have came in and gave some key defense off the bench. Because at the end of the day, defense wins games. I mean, look, it was 3 minutes on the clock, and we still had we were only down by 6, and we could have went on a nice little run with no problem. We didn't have any issues, even with Ja in the game, the last game. We didn't have any issues with creating baskets for ourselves. It was sad because it's like everybody didn't. It's like we didn't game plan for the role players, And LeBron always kept, he always says that, he tries to respect every player on the Memphis bench, but it's obviously that they didn't prepare for this ball club, to come with their high, I think it was like a high press of a defense because every time Bron or AD got the ball, they pretty much double, triple teamed. And, it was times where Rui wasn't on the, Rui was on the bench and you also had Reeves on the bench at the same time. They should never both be on the bench. Never. It should never be a time where, and even if, I even saw when there were times that Alst gave up shots that were baskets, they were buckets to pass the ball to someone open that was missing open shots. I mean, we missed so many open shots. It's ridiculous. I don't understand our game plan for the team like the Grizzlies for this game because the main thing we should have did, regardless if they tripled or double team, was make everything go through AD. There shouldn't have been a reason he didn't have the ball at the end. Hell, anytime he wasn't on the bench, he should have had the ball. He should have, obviously, I think he was kind of upset, and I never want to blame the refs on a game. So I'm not going to do that because the playoff is a new start. It's a new opportunity. Everybody's 0-0. You're building up it's pretty much a season in its own right? So with that being said, I'm not going to blame the refs, even though there was a lot of calls that didn't go the Lakers' way, which would have definitely decided the game. It was a key play when AD went up for the jump ball, and, he was, hit in his eye, and his eye went to bleeding. And they didn't even call a flagrant one. They didn't call any type of technical, which is shocking because you have someone badly touch someone and it's still rewarded, some type of technical foul. So that was a shock, even if it wasn't intentional, even if it was, something that you did on accident. I feel like there still should have been some type of consequence because it was obvious that he was trying to kind of distract AD. I don't think but to me, it's been a lot of weird plays. I'm not gonna say dirty plays, but it's been a lot of weird plays to make you wonder, are they trying to get AD hurt because they feel like even if they could get a game or two, they know that they're not gonna win the series? Or, I mean, it's got to be something because the Josh situation was kind of like a fluke accident, No one's expecting to land down on their head like that. But there's something that kind of creates a little bit of a doubt in my mind when it comes down to something not being intentional is I've seen too many plays where HD is being hackled and he's not being, he's not getting his just due to the line. I mean, you got guys that's coming off the bench for Memphis that's getting more respect than a star player on the Lakers, which is crazy. Someone to be hacked like that, no calls are being called. Everything is a clean block or a clean, takeaway, which I thought that wasn't necessarily fair. But like I said, I think part of it could have been maybe placed on the refs, but also you still have to fight through that. You have to fight through the difficulties on offense and when you have a situation when you're not getting your just due to be able to kind of slow the pace down, set your defense. Also, when you're getting good stops on defense, you can finally set up your pick and roll. You can set up plays that's going to be ran through AD, maybe even LeBron, maybe even Aus. But you can actually set up plays to figure out how to get on a rhythm that can benefit your ball club. A lot of the things that I saw in the game that let me down was mainly due to the fact that we couldn't do much on offense. We were missing shots that we normally make. And I don't expect that to happen in the next game. I don't expect that to happen the rest of the series. Sometimes it's just not your night. I don't think we're going to have that. I think 85% of the time our stars are going to do what they need to do as far as getting the points that they need to get, especially when we're talking about getting their buckets. Um, I can't blame AD for having a bad game because I just think that you get frustrated when you're not getting the call, you're not being able to get in the rhythm, shots aren't landing no matter how hard you're working. I mean, he had 5 blocks. I mean, he was doing what he can on defense. Some of the fouls that they were calling, I thought that was just it's crazy that was leaning towards keeping Memphis in the game or far as also giving them an opportunity to run away with the game. There were times we would make a nice little run and they would just get rewarded on a bad call. I was surprised that Darvin Ham didn't challenge 3 of the 4 plays I felt that needed to be challenged, even though you only get 1 challenge. It was a couple turnovers that I thought just decided our fate, decided our game, especially the one with Alsa going to the basket. He definitely was fouled. I don't know why the foul call wasn't called. That pretty much iced the game. Things happen. We got to live. We got to learn from this. We got to learn from our mistakes. We got to stop coming out so flat. AD got to be aggressive. He's got to be the starter. If he could come in the first quarter, give us 10 to 15 points, at least 3 or 4 blocks, even though blocks are really hard to get, we just need that. We need that much of we need him to be that much of a defensive threat in the paint to where it puts us on a defensive tear. It puts us on where we become locked in. We adjust to everything that they're doing. We're able to see what they're trying to do on the court. We're able to figure out ways to kind of dissolve what they're trying to do on the court. So with that being said, I think if we pick up our pace and get back to Lakers ball, I mean, we can easily take 3 games in a row with no problem. We can't make the same mistakes. When we realize that shots are going in and out, at that point, we just got to keep going and keep going to the paint, keep attacking the basket. Sometimes it's not always about, the shots that you're taking. Sometimes it's the type of shots you're taking. And, when you realize that your gimme basket isn't working, maybe you need to be going up for some dunks, making sure that they're seeing that you're getting that foul and force the refs to do their job. Sometimes you got to play that way. When you play smart ball, you'll get the calls you're supposed to get. I don't understand why the refs wasn't giving the Lakers a lot of the calls that they should have gotten, but I also get upset when I see my coach. He got upset, but at that point when he realized that a lot of the calls wasn't being called, he should have. That's when you take a tech for your team. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm finna show out. I'm finna get my team fired up. Cause sometimes your team needs that. They've had a lot of days off. They've gotten too comfortable, gotten to just, kind of got away from basketball for a few days, So you got to get them back ready to play. You got to get them back fired up, especially if LeBron and AD aren't gathering the pack up and getting them ready. You can get ready mentally, but you still need to be fired up in any game, especially in a 7-game series. I'm happy that the fact that it always brings me joy to see a player like Rui have a consistent game. I think it'll be beneficial for us in the end. We need to start when AD gets to the bench. We need to start rotating our big guys in, just so they don't be able to get used to a rotation that we're doing. You know, um, Instead of subbing out a big for AD, we're not. We're bringing in Troy Brown or someone smaller. Gabriel. He's not that good on the defensive end. So it's like I said, if we can play Tristan and Thompson and let him and Mo Bamba kind of rotate those. I guess you can call them do or die minutes when AD's on the bench because we need someone to come off the bench with a drive and a will to keep the lead that we may have or help us get back in the game by getting stops. Um, Tristan was real good at that when he played with LeBron during the championship year, and I think he still has some fight in him. Mobamba, I don't know if Ham doesn't believe in his play or he doesn't want to risk injuring him when they're planning on re-signing him for next year. I don't know what's going on with that, but you got to play your big guys when your big man is on the bench. You got to. There's no reason not to. I would have been even satisfied if Gabriel was even able to get, a few more minutes on the court, when it came down to just having a different big man out there to let them know that you're still gonna crowd that paint area. You're putting someone on. I seen Scooter guarding a big guy, a big man, several plays. You're gonna get beat every time. D'Lo defense. D'Lo's trying to play this side game, and he's got to get in front of his man. If you turn it sideways, he's gonna drive by and beat you all day. You're opening the lane up. I don't understand where D'Lo's head is at. I mean, I don't know if the playoff he's nervous, because he had a bad playoff last year, but he's got to get in the game. He's got to have trust in himself. I mean, he's a hell of a player. He's got to get his defensive capabilities up, man. He's got to get on a higher IQ when it comes down to his defensive play. He really does. I don't understand how come a matchup you're losing because you're just choosing not to play the correct way, and that's costing us points. It's costing us chances of getting in a good rhythm, when we're consistently running down the court because of a bad play. It's taken away from our ability to set our defense, to get back on defense, or to create a better basket on offense. So when I look at how we played this game, I did like the fight because I seen that we were able to. They got it up to 19. 20 points, I think, was maybe the highest, but I think it was 19. And we were able to drop it all the way down to 6. We couldn't do anything after that. Once we got into 6, it's like we lost juice. We our energy was nowhere to be found. And I think it's time for us to start doing everything through AD to start the game. Him coming out very strong, very very aggressive. You know, letting them know that it's gonna be his night. They're gonna have to deal with him. He's gonna have to come with that Mamba mentality. You know, there's no way around it. We need our big man to come in and do what he do, because I really still feel like Anthony Davis is the best big man in the league. If he completes a full or more games, or I'm not even gonna say full season, but if he completed more games, if he played in more games, he would have been a defensive player of the year by far, easy. He's been on a tear since he's came back on the defensive side. I'm so excited to see where we can be if we just go ahead and get the Grizzlies out of there. I don't see anybody matching up with us well outside of the Grizzlies. So if we can get past them, man, the chip is on the way. Teams play different. I heard a commentator actually say something that I didn't agree with, and it's a little truth to it, only because that was our record, and we did finish in the seventh seed, but there was a lot of things that kind of messed up how we would have been seated. But in a way, I'm happy because things happen for a reason. But at the same time, I mean, I don't forget about how we were cheated out of 4 games. I mean, people can call it what they want. Simple as that. We were cheated out of 4 games. So that would have put us around the third or the fourth seed, if I'm not mistaken. So things happen, we bounce back. We've been the best team since All-Star break, which we don't get any credit for. They still call us a bad team when we lost, I think about 8 games during the time, leading up to the end of the season. And I don't understand, man. The Laker hate is real. It really is, and it's no problem. I mean, it's good. I'm hoping that we use it as fuel, energy, and we go out and compete to the best of our ability, and we get out there and get it done. There's a few things I want to touch base on before I get out of here. I'm gonna need Scooter and Austin to understand that we need them. They're coming in and they're not being themselves. I want us to realize you are him. You are him. You're very hard to guard. You're unpredictable. And a lot of people don't know how to control your play. Don't stop your play for nobody. I'm seeing him go away from what's been working for him. It's working for you, continue your play. Scooter, you've been a menace on defense. Get back to it. Get back to it. I seen that. I thought they were going to let them play tonight. I really did. But it's like they just gave the game to Memphis. I don't know if it was on our end. Like I said, I don't want to blame the refs, because some of this could fall on Ham's plate too. Because Ham, I don't know what to say about Ham. Ham's getting to the point where Ham doesn't understand that when something's not working, go ahead and cancel it out. It's okay to fail. It's okay. If you got a rotation that's out there and it's just not efficient, just take them out. It's okay to start over. Or it's okay to put in the player and test him out and try him. Yeah, it's the playoffs and you want to have a consistent rotation, but we're a new team still. We're still trying to figure out a chemistry, and we're trying to do all this in a little bit of time. I do believe that at some point, Ham will get it right. He'll get it together. I just hope that it's not too late. I really hope that he understands that he could be a great coach, but he's got to allow his players to, he can't limit his players, is what I'm trying to say. He's got to allow his players to play at a high level. A lot of times we're losing these games. He's got our star players on the bench too long. I understand he's trying to, stop injury from happening and get players some win, so they can go out and finish the game off. But he's sitting our star players too long. Vando, like I always say, I don't care if he doesn't have a fifth foul in his buckle. If he's somewhere between 2, 3, or 4, I need him playing the whole game until he's like, take me out, let me catch this win. I need Vando on the court all game long because he's a threat on defense and no one likes when he guards them. Nobody. Listen, man, I feel like when you have a team that had a 0.2% chance to make it to the playoffs, and they're the best team since the break, and they've got a bunch of people that don't believe in them, at some point, if I'm LeBron James and I'm Anthony Davis, and I know no one can stop me when I drive to the paint, AD, no one can stop me, period. At some point, you got to get it done. You finally at the place you want to be. You've been trying to get to all year. As a duo, I still feel like you're the best duo in the league when healthy. I don't see anybody stopping us when we do our 1 and 2 punch with AD and LeBron. So why do we stop? Let's get back to what made us, the team that we've been since the break. And let's figure out how we could go ahead and start knocking these games down. You always want to take it one game at a time, so I want them to come in and I don't like the phrase "get greedy" because it kind of makes you not humble. I prefer them to just be aware, understand the moment, understand the kind of level you need to be on in order to get it done. There's a lot of things that we need to tighten up. Even with our faults, we were still in this game. Even with 3 minutes, we should have been able to get that win because we were still in the game. And they got to look at it that way. As good as the Grizzlies played, as dominant as they were in the paint, their level of play, their concentration on making the right plays, yet they were still failing enough to keep us in the game to where we're only down by 6 points with 3 minutes left. As a team, I would look at that like, hey, even with our faults, we're still the better team. And sometimes you need a loss to get you back level-headed and get you back to where you need to be to get that, like I say, Mamba mentality. I'm hoping that we can figure it out and figure it out soon because it'll be a letdown if we give these games away when even with Ja on the court, we should have it in the bag. It's something I want to say, and I'm just going to come out and say it. AD needs to realize that he's the most dominant big man since Shaq. People are scared to go against you But guess what? They look at it like, oh, he's injury prone. He's not aggressive enough, and it's time to right that wrong. You feel me? It's time to get away from that. It's time to get back to making a name for yourself, to where people realize that you are a bucket. Nobody can stop AD, and that's how I see it. Especially when he's playing aggressive and he's playing that bully ball. It's just he turns it on and he turns it off, you know. And then, like I say, he allows a lot of his emotions to wear down on him, and to, it shows on the court, because of a call that he felt he should have got, or way he's feel like he's being treated, but sometimes you just gotta see past that. A lot of times you gotta see past that. And you gotta do what you've been doing. He's been the most dominant player, the most consistent player since the break, since he's came back. The whole month. Now, no one played as good as him. Not even close. He didn't even get one vote for Defensive Player of the Year, but he finished in third or fourth in defense, as far as his ratings and everything. So, I mean, I thought he would have came out and said, okay, yeah, I'm that guy. But he allowed that one play to throw the whole game, to throw everything that he was doing, asking for the ball, terrorizing him in the paint. When he got hit in his eye and he went to bleeding, it's like, and he didn't get that call, or it's like the whole thing just the whole game was decided then. You didn't see the same AD. And he says he's gonna be better, and he always show and improve, so he always show and prove that he comes and he gets it done. But I just wish we would have got it done. We could be going home 2-0, and I felt we was gonna win both of the games at home. Now we gotta fight for it, because when the series tied, it's like it's 0-0 again. So we gotta be ready to play. We can't allow guys that's coming off the bench with the 7th or 8th man role and coming and dominating us like that. We can't allow that. We can't allow for a team that's way smaller than us to bully ball us. We can't allow that. Darvin Ham's got to step it up. He's got to figure out it. He's got to figure out his gameplay now. You're the coach. You decide what kind of playing level, what kind of plays that we're gonna run on the court, how we're gonna defend. You're deciding that. You're making the adjustments, and you're calling the plays, and you're figuring out how to keep them in balance. To keep them out of the paint, to keep them from taking 3-pointers wide open. That's your job, and he's got to start doing his job. And we can win these games with no problem, but a lot of nights he's been hurting us just as much as AD. When it comes down to something happening and he's figuring out that he's not gonna get the call that he's expecting to get as a star, and it is frustrating. But you know how Kobe would have done it. You know how Shaq would have done it. AD, ain't nobody gonna stop you when you go to work. So you gotta go to work. Get it done, big man. Y'all already know, man. It's been fun. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.